Hello everyone, welcome to our first practice test. I am so excited that we actually got to this point. I even did my nails to celebrate the occasion. Today we're going to be doing the first part of a 3-part practice test. It's got 30 questions. In this video we're just going to be doing 10 out of those 30 questions. So for you folks at home that are doing this, what you're going to do is, for the 10 questions, you are going to give yourself 2 minutes per question. So this is going to be timed. So you're going to give yourself 20 minutes to do the 10 questions. Here are the rules with doing this test. You're not going to use any calculators, you're not going to Google, but you can use your notes as much as you need. That includes maybe a multiplication chart. If you want to try it without your notes, by all means, you do you, but I would suggest trying it with your notes for your first practice test. When you're doing the questions, don't skip. On the AFCT, you can't go back if you skip, so you need to get in the habit now of answering each question as it comes. And remember, in this 20-minute time frame, the goal is to answer all the 10 questions, all right? So you need to know when you are spending too much time on a problem and maybe you just need to take your best guess and move on so you can have time to solve the problems that are at the end. The last thing you want is to run out of time. All right, so these are ASVAB questions, not necessarily AFCT questions. That's why I'm only giving you 2 minutes per question. So I'm gonna show the test on your screen and I'm just gonna scroll through and you're gonna pause it as you go. And after you answer all 10 questions, then we're gonna go through the answers. Okay, here we go. Zoom in. All right, so now that you've done all 10 questions, let's go through the answers. Now, 9 times out of 10, there's always more than one way to solve some of these questions. So if the way I solved it isn't the same way that you solved it, but you still got the right answer, that's fine with me. All right, so for number 1, the formula that you needed to use here was interest, which if you remember is I equals PRT. And the reason that we know it's that formula is because we see the word interest. So you should have gotten bravo. Okay, for number 2, you should have gotten delta. For number 3, you should have gotten bravo. A lot of people mess up on this problem. It says a pint of milk is what part of half a gallon? So if you take your gallon here, if you were to cover up half of it, we only have 4 pints in a half of a gallon. So a pint of milk would be 1 out of 4, 1/4. Okay, for number 4, I set it up as a proportion. You could have done it differently, but you should have gotten delta as your answer. For number 5, all we had to do is add those amounts up, and I stopped at that first digit here because there was only one answer with a 5 at the end. For number 6, you should have done 60 times 24, gotten 1440. For number 7, this was a percent of change problem. If you remember percent of change, it is the change divided by the original. So in this case, we went from 25 to 29 cents, so our change was 4 cents, and the original was 25 cents. So you would have done 4 divided by 25, And when you did that in your long division, you should have ended up with 0.16, which is 16%. Okay. For number 8, if you can remember a scale of a map, you can always use proportion. You may have done it different, that's fine. I set it up as a proportion. 1/4 inch is 1 foot. How many inches is 4 feet? And I saw the scale factor here, which was 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/4 times 4 should have been alpha. For number 9, this was a measurement problem. Tricky here because they use half pint. Remember, a half of a pint is the same thing as a cup. A half a pint is the same thing as a cup. There's 2 cups in a pint, so if you have half pint, that's 1 cup. So I just, real quick to make it easier on my brain, I changed that half pint to 1 cup. And then basically all you're saying is 10 gallons is how many cups. And if you remember, big to small, multiply all. So you would multiply by 16 to get alpha. Number 10, this was the video that we just did before this. This is a work problem. So 6 men can paint a fence in 2 days. So the first thing that you're gonna do is multiply the number of people times the number of days. That gets you the amount of time to do the job for 1 person. And then in this case, they changed the amount of time. They changed it to 1. So you would have just done 12 divided by 1, which is 12, Charlie. Okay, I hope you did well. In the next video, we're gonna do the next 10 problems. So 11 through 20. Okay, see you there.